You might be the king of thieves, but I am master of mayhem.
Why exactly is he here?
He knows Jet.
No, in a grander sense. Why is he here?
The relationship between Bruce and I is quite different than Joxer and Autolycus.
Bruce Campbell sucks.
He's awful. What a horrible person to work with.
For one, I'm much smarter than Bruce.
He and Ted had always wanted to work together.
You know, I'm more graceful.
They loved doing the Hope and Cosby routine and all of those things.
You want dangerous?
Drive a nicer car, and
Bruce gets comedy and gets Ted.
What a loser.
I'm just better at everything, mostly.
We thought it was a natural pairing at the time to bring them in to do that. So.
Working with Bruce is fantastic. All of us had the luxury of working with Bruce on set as Autolycus on many occasions.
I've known him since I was 10, so I always sort of remember him as this taller, older guy until I grew up and I'm the same size as him. But
Bruce has I think an interesting dichotomy that he's absolutely
No, don't say it. All right, say it.
beautiful. He's handsome, but yet he has this really bizarre sense of humor that comes across.
Part of him is Hollywood kind of, movie making or whatever.
Pleasure doing business with you, Cleo.
And the other half of him totally eschews that. Like he'll wear socks with his sandals just to keep his ego straight. That's what Bruce does.
because of that relationship, because when I was 10 and he was 16, them going, "Get out of here, we're trying to do something, you brat."
Now beat it.
That tone of voice, taking that on the set is fine for me, because, you know, he kind of yells and it's sort of like sense memory.
I think he cut his teeth as a director on Hercules and on Xena. It was an opportunity for Bruce to direct.
He's an actor first and foremost, and so all of his direction comes from that viewpoint with a real love of actors, you know. He loves to, you know, see what he can get out of this guy and that guy.
Actor-directors, Charlie Siebert, Bruce Campbell, Anson Williams, they tend to pull very good performances out of not just Lucy and Renee.
I've been watching Xena. This is what Xena would do.
But the B, C, and D characters.
TV actors, all of them, after a while tend to get very complacent with the acting. Somebody like Bruce is good to have now and again, so it's a little pepper in the mix. You better be sharp on your lines with Bruce, because if you're not, he'll let you know.
What was that all about?
Whoa.
You know, you learn little lessons through your career and they kind of stick with you.
I'm only in this for the reward.
It was a new director who I don't think had done a lot of fast turnaround TV and was maybe a little bit intimidated by Bruce as well. And the director starts to talk about shots, going like, okay, well, the first shot's through the window here and we want to put the camera here and we're doing this and we're coming in and then we end up on a close-up of Bruce and then we come over here and we do this and we come around. And Bruce just said, whoa, 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 stop. And went up to the guy and said, listen, I am an actor, these are fellow actors. How about, first of all, we read the scene, we do the dialogue, we do the words. Then we do a little block through, you tell us where you'd like to come through. Then you can talk about your shots, okay? He was so right.
Okay, back to the show.
Ted Raimi was brought in as the comic relief. Salmonius was going to play in Hercules. Ted was going to play 95% of the time in Xena.
Once in a blue moon, somebody, apart from Gabrielle, would get through to Xena, and there was oftentimes jokes that he really brought out a sweetness in his.
We always thought Xena knew exactly that Joxer was pining for Gabrielle.
But Gabrielle was mean to him on so many occasions, you know.
Where does it hurt?
Right there. Ow! It took until Liar Liar in season 5, where Xena says, well, if you don't want him, you know, is it wrong that somebody else did? And, oh, somebody like you.
I love the relationship between Joxer and Gabrielle, though.
Look, I'm sorry, Gabrielle. This is for your own protection. My brother's a killer, and I don't want you in the way when I stop him.
Joxer! You could tell that Ted and I are so fond of each other. And that came across in all the scenes, you know.
Yeah.
So that friendship and love was there underneath all the bantering.
We thought it was an interesting idea to have Joxer have the brother who was everything that he wanted to be, assassin, killer, and all that.
The genesis of Jet in King of Assassins was
I'm not sure who came up with the idea.
I'm not sure who
I
came
know
up-
we came up with the name.
Yeah.
And we thought he would be a tough guy, and we thought that the story would be, it was going to be a Xena-like episode anyhow, so we thought it would be interesting to explore if Joxer's father was a warlord, who was his brother?
A lot of it, I think, came from, I have an older brother who tortured me.
Me too.
Yeah, and Kay too. And so we decided that, look, if Joxer's dad was a warlord, maybe there's one son in the brood who followed in Dad's footsteps. So in a lot of ways that my brother followed in my dad's footsteps. Jet turned out to be the character who gave the wedgies to his, minute younger brother Joxer.
But also, it's sort of the Raimi brothers. Ted is the youngest, I think, of the 4 siblings.
Yeah.
And there was a lot of that kind of stuff going on in their house.
Not the finger!
So Ted really embraced the role. And I think he really enjoyed playing both parts too, because he could experience both sides of the coin too.
It was great. I loved to do all of the episodes where I got to play more than one character. It's a character actor's dream. Everybody on that show during its 6-year run probably played no less than 3 or 4 different people. I played even more than that, probably like 6 maybe. So it was really cool.
Mom!
Where?
He did some test screenings, and there was a 16-year-old who watched every Joxer episode and knew every one of his lines, and that was his favorite character. He could care less about Xena and Gabrielle. You know what? There is that element. I never lost sight of that young man and why he was watching the show.
Oh, I hate when I'm out bluffed.
Hey, I'm just trying to broaden my knowledge.
You need help.
Some directors, say that to you. Think of ways to blow up their trailer and set their house on fire.
You don't know the half of it.
Everybody gets
Yeah,
a
everybody
little
got a little
share
of
of hate in a
Right.
hit show.
Yeah.